Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Today we are going to be taking a look at a new release from the Moderoid lineup of plastic model kits from the Good Smile company. Now we have taken a look at a few Moderoid kits here in the past. I think the first one that was released was part of the Modzing Kaiser lineup, I'd want to say. It's been a while since I did that review, actually, come to think of it. But yes, we're back for another one. This one is going to be the Escaflowne. So to be honest, I had never heard of this kit or this series before, and I had to look it up. Apparently, this is based off of a anime, another mid-1990s anime. It feels like lately, in addition to doing a lot of video game kits recently, I've been doing a lot of kits based off of series from the 1990s, when I think a lot of people out there would think 1990s was kind of when we had some of the best anime releases so far. So a lot of nostalgia for some of these older 1990s animes. It was a different period back then, and so yeah, this Escaflowne is from that series. I think it was called the Vision of Escaflowne when it was translated into English, or maybe Tenku no Escaflowne in Japanese, if I'm reading that right. So there you have it. So yeah, so this is one of the, I've never watched the series. This is going to be one of, I do not think they're going to be called mobile suits like in Gundam, but one of the type of mecha units that they have in that series. Probably the main one, if this is actually going to be called the Escaflowne, I would imagine. So just like other previous Moderoid Good Smile releases here, this one is also going to be produced in China, like we do get with pretty much all of the Kotobukiya kits. So nothing that is made in Japan like the Bandai Hobby stuff. But even so, it's not terribly too bad, even though it is made in China, I have to say. The plastic definitely does not feel as nice as what I'm just used to on the Bandai Hobby kits, but I tend to say that a lot. I've realized whenever I review some of these non-Bandai Hobby kits, I get so used to that really fine, nice plastic on the Bandai Hobby kits. But because it is made in China, there's also a benefit as well, aside from that plastic feel. And that is that we do get pieces that are pre-painted from the factory. So if we look up here on this helmet, you see these nice fine kind of red lines on the tip there, as well as the green for like his gemstones. Actually, I didn't really realize this before, but if you look at this kind of antenna off the top of his head, it is actually kind of bent over to one side, and that's just pretty much how it came from the kit. I think probably I could bend that over. I'm not going to try to do it too strongly here on this video, because I'm more than likely going to end up breaking it, which I do not want to do. So yeah, so we get these pre-painted pieces on here. Now we also have these kind of clear green gemstone type things in his shoulder, and actually these things originally looks like it should just be a clear piece of plastic, but they've kind of tinted it with green, like a clear green paint, because it's not like a perfectly 100% uniform clear green, I don't believe. So that was kind of interesting. Maybe you can kind of see it a bit better here on this one here. So it's kind of, you see it's got kind of a clear bubble right there, but the rest of it is kind of that clearish green look to it. So yeah, but what you are seeing reflecting off underneath those green pieces there is, even though it does have pieces that are pre-painted, you also have just this one single sheet of these metallic silver type of stickers, and these are going to be placed underneath on the shoulders here, underneath where these clear green kind of gemstone type things go. As well as there is one here which is labeled number 1, and that sticker is going to be the one that is underneath this pink, clear pink type of gemstone on his chest there. So there is that, as well as those. So yeah, the gemstones on his shoulder, they are also going to be on his back as well. So you have it front and back, and that looks quite nice, as well as you have here these dark kind of gray things underneath the gemstones. That is something else that is going to come pre-painted. Now, also speaking about stuff that is pre-painted, his sword here, which looks quite nice with this silver blade, this is another piece that also comes pre-painted from the factory. Alright, so before I because the cape really is going to block a lot of his movements, so I'm just going to talk about his cape before I pull off the cape and kind of move around his arms a bit and see what kind of articulation that we can expect to get from this guy. So the cape, this cape that I have equipped on here right now, this is a hard plastic cape, and it is held in place by this backpack here. However, this kit also gives you the option, if you so desire, it gives you an option of, let me take it out of the plastic bag here. You also have a soft cloth fabric cape as well. So you have the option of the preformed hard plastic cape, or this cloth plastic cape, which is you're going to need to maybe try and fold around yourself if you want to really get it to have a nice crease like that. But for me, I didn't really want to fart around with that too much, so I decided just to stick with that hard plastic cape. And for the cloth one, if you're going to use it, you'll notice there's holes here on the corners. They give you these plastic pieces here, which are going to sandwich over those holes there, and that's going to allow you to probably connect the cape up onto the unit itself. So that option is yours. Now, there was one interesting thing. I do not believe this is going to be in every kit, but for some reason, the kit that I got ended up coming with two hard plastic capes. Only one of the soft cloth capes, but for the hard plastic cape, I ended up with two, and I do not think this is going to be the case with every kit, because if you look here at the instruction manual, let's open this up. On the instruction manual, there is a parts list like we can expect with the Bandai kits, and it shows here for the soft cape there should be quantity 1, and the hard cape also quantity 1. So why I ended up with 2, I have no idea. Now you'll notice some of these pieces here on this parts list, some of them are highlighted in yellow, and what that is pretty much denoting is the fact that these pieces are the ones that are going to come pre-painted from the factory. So the sword was painted. Here are all those clear pieces, the clear green pieces, as well as that pink one. The shoulders had some painting on it, and all the head pieces which had the painting on them as well. So you have this nice nifty guide, and there it shows the sticker sheet. The instructions were colored, which was nice. Now it shows you here the cloth cape. I guess maybe you are supposed to have the black side on the outside, because yeah, there is the red, but the other side does have black. So I guess if you want to have a black cape showing on his back side, you will have to use that cloth piece there. And it shows those two plastic connectors I was talking about a second ago, how those two pieces are going to clip over those holes, and they're going to connect underneath that shoulder armor. So if you want to do that, you can. Now, speaking of that kind of dark, although on the image here it actually shows the outside being blue and not the black that this soft one comes with. So if you want to have this displayed with this blue on the back, you're going to have to take that hard cape and paint the outside of it blue, I guess, if you would like to have this nice blue color. Here we have an image of the soft cape at the bottom as well. Now it does kind of show, you can see the black on the outside as well as the red on the inside. So even if it's a blue on the outside, it's still supposed to have that red on the inside. So I guess they didn't want to go through the effort, even though they do paint some other pieces on this kit. They just didn't want to go through the effort of painting the entire back of that plastic shield into this nice blue color. That would have looked really nice though, especially if we got these kind of gold accent marks or accents painted onto the bottom. That would have been really good, I think. So let's go ahead and pull off this cape now. Now, apologies if you maybe hear some strange gusting wind in the background for this video. For some reason today there is a really strong typhoon. It's not actually a typhoon, but really strong typhoon-like winds are blowing like crazy outside today. So it's got some interesting weather going on. But this nice strong rainy weather with the strong typhoon winds, this is the perfect type of weather to make sure that people stay indoors and don't go outside. Alright, so now we have this, the cape is all pulled off. I pulled off his shoulder there so we can see the unit itself in all its glory minus that cape. And then we got the back of it. Here's the hole where the backpack is going to plug in. I'm guessing this thing sticking off his back there. Let's see, can I pull that out? Yeah, let's pull out. So this is going to be the hilt for the sword, of course. So if you really want to be completely correct when displaying this piece on your shelf, if he is going to be holding his sword, I guess you will have to make sure to be able to pull that sword off of his back. Otherwise, he's going to look like he has two swords, which might not be 100% correct. Excuse me, 100% correct according to the anime. Alright, so let's take a look at what kind of articulation we can expect with this guy. Not a whole lot really to write home about, to be quite honest. The foot here is kind of on just a simple ball joint. You can kind of see the joint there inside there a little bit. We can move it up and down and to the sides a bit, so not terribly too bad, I have to say. Now the leg, because of the design of this armor, we can't really bend it up a whole lot. So this is, you're just going to get like a 90-degree angle there for that piece. So that's all you're really going to be able to get with that one. Now the side skirts kind of fold up like that. And for the leg, maybe I can pop this off. Yeah, not really, can't really bend this up sideways a whole lot, but he is able to stretch it forward and back, so you can do that. For the chest and his torso here, there is a pretty, not terribly too bad, a nice decent range of flexibility on the inside of there. The head, because of the design of this armor, we really can't do much more than kind of twist it from side to side. It doesn't really bend forward or back, just kind of side to side. But the arm is able to go up completely at a 90-degree angle, although you're going to have to contend with that kind of giant shoulder armor, which I just popped off the back piece of it. And the elbow bend for this unit here, let me see if I can get it to work with that armor piece. Yeah, just about 90-degree angle is all you're really going to be able to expect with that elbow there. So not a whole lot you can really do with this guy. Simple ball joint connection for his wrist, and yeah, so nothing terribly, nothing really terribly too much to write home about as far as articulation goes on this guy. Although considering for the most part, I would imagine everyone out there is going to display this guy with his fancy cape on. So because of this cape kind of is going to really restrict a lot of movement in any case, you probably aren't going to be buying this kit with the intent of going crazy on the posing, I would imagine. Let's see if I can pop this cape back on there. Alright, so there we go. So now he's got his cape back on and he's looking all snazzy, although he is missing his sword. Maybe I can put it back in his hand. Well, actually, let's speak about the hands for a second here. So right now, on both his left and right hand, I have his two closed gripping hands, although you'll note that there are holes in both the right and the left hand, so he will be able to hold on to his sword with either the right or the left hand. But you also do have an option, if you really so desire, to have these kind of more open jazz hand type hands. So closed hands or open hands, the choice is yours. Not a whole lot to write home about as far as other options on this kit. We've already talked about the cape, we've already talked about his sword. That's pretty much going to wrap it up with this guy. Now, he is a Moderoid kit, and I've always considering the size of the box for these Moderoid kits, I always imagine that they're going to end up being a bit bigger than they are, but they kind of end up being a bit smaller. So let's take a look at the Moderoid compared to the HG Origin Gundam, RX-78, and as you can see, the Escaflowne does come in just a tiny bit taller than the HG RX-78 here. So just a tiny bit taller than you can expect from an HG kit, but nothing quite master grade size. Definitely nothing perfect grade size. So he is a bit of a small guy, but considering this is from an anime series in the 1990s, you actually really don't have a whole lot of options to choose from if you are a fan of the Escaflowne series and you would like to get something from that series. You're kind of limited to pretty much it. I do believe this is your only option. So I did watch a quick trailer for the series, and I gotta say that this series looks quite interesting, especially compared to some of this the newer stuff that is released these days. So I might actually check out this anime and give it a watch if I can find it somewhere. I'll have to hunt it down, but yeah, it does look quite interesting, and it did look like from the trailer that there are a number of other kind of knight-looking mobile suit, not really mobile suit, but armored type units. So I do have to wonder, maybe at some point in the future, if Moderoid is going to bring us any of the other kind of character or units from that Escaflowne series. We'll just have to wait and see. But if you are aching to get one of these now, I want to say that it is still available, although probably more than likely, even if it is not, it'll probably be reissued at some point in the future, I would imagine. So buy it now if you can, or hold out and wait for a reissue at some point in the future. Alright, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this review then of the Escaflowne. Thank you guys out there for watching. Hope everyone is taking care and staying inside and building lots of models with your free time, because what better thing is there to do than build models, I have to say. Okay, that is definitely going to wrap it up now, and we'll see you guys again soon for another review.